Okay, folks, we're back again. Let's hope we can be a little bit more successful than we were yesterday, which was not at all, because the goop was too wet. And I think, well, obviously we're a lot better, but I couldn't even paint this stuff well. It was pushing, thank you, it was pushing this thing out of the way where it needed to be. So let's continue with the English uniform. We'll use the same brush that we were using yesterday. Like somebody didn't make it to the bathroom. Baby diaper brown, I believe that's the official term of that. Cold as shit in here. And I'm drinking coffee that's not as cold as it would normally be. I'll warm up this room in no time. I don't care how cold it is. Always sleeping with a fan on, just to keep the air moving. Anything else is just uncivilized. Hey, is this clogged? We ain't got no time for that. We got lots of these little pipettes. Of course, they're out of reach. Go put it in your pipette and smoke it. I don't want to use one of those because they're super small. I just got those recently from a grab bag. I just need one of the regular size ones. Well, here's an opportunity to learn another skill. I must have moved them somewhere else. That's what I get for cleaning up the room. Man, this was what is this stuff called? This Nuln oil clogged this thing up good. Oh, fuck this. We'll use one of these. Little ones. I was saving these for the airbrush. That's plenty. Now, so don't put any liquid in that. Come on, man. I'm chomping at the bit to get this thing done. I'm not in a hurry. I just want to see what it looks like. And I couldn't get any painting done, so I basically went to bed super early yesterday. I'm like, screw this. Now, I don't want to lay this down too wet. Just has to be just wet enough to be able to get in between the rocks and such. But if I leave it too wet, well, and I know I'm probably not going to be able to finish painting it today because it'll be too wet to dry brush. And the environment here is not helping. It's cold and moist, which I personally like, but it's not good for paint. It doesn't help. What's interesting is even the mornings, even the weekday mornings, have been more successful than the end of the day evenings. I was just doing other stuff in the mornings other than this, and I'm like, this brings me more happiness than the other stuff I was doing. So that's why I'm doing it in the mornings, as I'd rather be doing this than the other stuff I was doing instead. I don't wake up to go to work. I wake up to do whatever the hell I want for an hour. Those of you that wake up to go just straight to work are just sadists. I don't know how you could do it. You must enjoy your job too much. Like I told somebody yesterday at a drive-through that was being really friendly. They were saying, yeah, they were talking about their mom really enjoyed their job. I said, well, it sounds like she needs a pay cut. But not wanting to take time off because she enjoys her job too much. I'm like, I call bullshit. Or maybe it's people that just get mistreated while they're at home or something. They can't wait to go to work. Get away from bad living conditions. But that's not my case. So kind of glad I went with a irregular shaped outside part of the stand. I hope I don't like that too much and then want to do that on all my vehicles, whether they're working or not. Francois, welcome. Early morning for you too. Yeah, there's a lot worse ways you can spend your morning than working on hobbies. Okay, that's the 222, or the base color of the 222. And the other colors are going to end up being dusted on top of this as well, so it's going to look like it fits in there. But this is the same, it's the same colors that we always use, the same colors that are in here. I don't know if this is supposed to be made for hot ingredients or not, but I like this cup because the size. I don't know how many ounces this fucker is, but it's got to be like 40 or something like that. It's just lukewarm. I decided not to put ice in the coffee today. It's freaking cold. It's penetrating. It's not that it's that cold. It's penetrating. And I'm not moving around. But I'd rather be cold than just sitting here and sweating. We had these neighbors that came from another country. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but some countries are used to things that I'm not used to. And one of them is not using air conditioning in the summer. Like, I'm not going to sit around and, like, you know, get a rash on my balls because they're freaking sweating so bad. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, there's no reason for that. Like, why am I dripping sweat and I'm not doing anything? I guess that makes me a spoiled American. Oh well, sign me up. It's like the evenings. We have evenings here frequently, but it's at night, like 9 o'clock at night, and it's like 85, and there's no breeze, and there's over 70% humidity, and there's bugs all around. And people say, "Oh, they like the summer here." Well, you're fucking nuts. Now is a good time of the year. It's freaking beautiful out there. And you don't have to run the air conditioning. I mean, nothing to shovel, no bugs to shovel. Florida does its shoveling in the summertime. Bugs. But anyways, he had these neighbors that came from another country, and this is when my wife wasn't working outside the home. She was raising her daughter, and so was this neighbor, who was a professional. They were a doctor, or they said they were a doctor. I didn't check their credentials. No, they were a doctor. Some were working in town, and she went to go to her house, and it's like 86 degrees inside the house or something like that, and like stank. I'm like, I never got a chance to visit there, and I'm glad I didn't. But maybe that's what they're used to. But I can tell you, I'm not used to that. And also, when you work in an environment like I do that's particularly hot, that's the last thing I want to do when I'm not at work, is more of that same shit. You know? So, maybe if you're somebody that works in a freezer at a grocery store all day long, they can't wait to be hot. But that's not me. I can't wait to go live in a freezer. I don't want to experience anything that I get paid for to have to experience at work on my free time. Anything I've been experiencing for over 30 years at work. I'm like, I don't want to do any of that. I don't want to do any of that shit while I'm not there. None of it. How's this drying up? Yeah, you got to wet it down a little bit to be able to get everywhere, and that is the first coat takes longer because it has to get in every nook and cranny, or you've got something. I mean, unless you're using some kind of base material that's really, really dark, like lava or something, lava rock or lava paste. You don't want some shadowy thing all the way in there to all of a sudden be light colored or white. It's counterintuitive. I just want to be in an egg incubator all day. I'm not sure I know what that is, but I'll look it up in a second, unless I'm being physically active. Egg incubator, that sounds warm. The hell's an egg incubator? Sounds like those chairs they had on The Prisoner. I didn't watch that show, but they had these egg-shaped chairs. That's one of those shows that I never watched as a kid, but I flipped through the channels and look, what kind of fuckery is this? That and Doctor Who. Doctor Who doesn't make sense to anybody who's 9 years old. Egg. Sorry, I've never been an egg. It's been a while since I've been an egg. Aren't they warming though? these are cute for hatching chickens. You know, I don't think I would enjoy. Well, I didn't grow up with it, but I think it's kind of messed up to be raising some animal to eat it. I know, and I'm not an animal rights kind of person. I don't want them to be abused, but it's kind of fucked up, if you think about it. But some of you guys don't think about things. There's things I don't think about that other people be like, oh, how can you not? But I don't think I'd like that. There's another low flying helicopter. They fly way too low. Let me go get on the. I'll be right back. I need to go get on the 20. Da, 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 da. Way too close to the ground, man. You crash on my house and you kill one of my family members and I'm still alive, they're not going to find you alive. Whatever that means. It's like, oh, look, the pilot didn't survive the crash either. What did he die of? 9mm poisoning. No different than growing corn. Yeah, but you don't name corn. No, I don't give a fuck about plants. Cut those things through. But like pigs are cute and they're yummy, but I couldn't raise a, I could find other things to eat if I had to be the one that raised it. I'm not saying I wouldn't eat it, but I'm just saying that it's kind of fucked up. That's somebody's kid. I know that's about as hippie as I get, so bear with me. I could find other things to eat. That's really the moral of the story. There's no moral. I'm just saying I eat everything. I could fuck up some bread and just be ruthless. Be ruthless with bread. Good morning. I don't name chickens I'm gonna eat. Well, yeah, that makes sense. I'll let you name them. Some people are just different about different stuff. Like we went to Mexico, and as is common in every country except maybe Canada and the United States, and there's places in the United States that also have it, but it's kind of hard to find it. Pretty much everywhere else in the world, they have these butcher shops with meat just hanging, so you could carcasses hanging, and there's always a smell. That's really the biggest problem is there's like a smell that you don't normally. We're so used to in this country of just having completely sterile grocery stores, or at least the idea that they're sterile, and most of us can't deal with that in other countries. The same way if you go to other countries, they can't deal with like going to like a gun show and like all these firearms laying there. None of them are armed. They're not going to jump up and bite you, but same thing. Well, the rest of us are like, or the old school rest of us are like, what's the big deal, man? It's a tool. But that was my daughter when we went to Mexico. She's like, what is this stuff hanging? I don't want to eat any of that stuff. But then she go to a gun show and like, yeah, what's the big deal, Actually, I don't know that I've taken my daughter to a gun show. No, I don't think I have. I didn't want to be rushed. I don't end up buying anything, but she did say she wanted to go to the range on this Christmas break. I said, let's go. And I offered to take her, her Marxist friend that's coming and spending a few days with her. Good morning, Marcus. Her Marxist friend, I think she said, I've never met her. She says from Venezuela. I'm like, so you want some more of that Venezuelan shit here, huh? Dumbass. I just assume that people that come from a country that has been taken over by stuff you don't like, right? Like bad, like you've seen firsthand, you know, your freedoms taken away or your stuff taken away, or, you know, everybody, oh, everybody's treated equally. Yes, you're all slaves. The people that come from that environment would definitely not fall for that kind of propaganda. But apparently, that's not the case. It was the case for my dad. My dad was like, you know, completely anti-Marxist. But you know, he lost everything. So, and people say, "Oh, well, it's only stuff." And yes, you're right. It is only stuff. But what do you do with that stuff? How do you get that stuff? You work for it. And what is it when what is work? You trade part of your life for money that you use to buy the stuff. So you're basically trading your life indirectly. So if you think you can just give somebody part of your life and, you know, and it gets taken away from you, they didn't try a real socialism. That's even worse than socialism. You know, that's just, you know, there's always some kind of socialism. Well, there isn't socialism here because they won't fix the fucking roads, right? Everywhere you go, no matter where you live, everybody says, man, when are they going to fix the roads? They take the money for the roads and they don't use it for the roads. I was I was on a rant. I was on a rant one time about taxes. Like the problem people have with paying taxes is that you guys lie about what you're going to use the taxes about. And you're going to raise taxes anyway. So why would I volunteer to give you more taxes? It's like you got some crackhead kid that wants 20 bucks, right? You give him 20 bucks. 5 minutes later, can I have another 20 bucks? Why? You didn't spend the first 20. Oh no, well I'll do it this time. No, you won't. You're a crackhead. Where was the tire in the end? You didn't see it? I had to go watch and I had to go back and watch my video. And just for the record, I don't lose things. I just misplace them. And I noticed at one point that I clipped the tire on my alligator clip. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, it's back there in the back. And there it was, hanging out in the, it was hanging out just like this. You know what? It made me pick up my room. And it also made me like, hey, let's go ahead and do these wrecks. Unfortunately, I couldn't do them last night because this goop took a long time to dry. They didn't try real social. Let's try it in your country. How about leave our country the fuck alone? Now that we got an Englishman here, oh, I assumed you were a man. Oh well, that's what I do. I also thought you were from the Middle East with that name, but not that there's anything wrong with that. I got I was watching this airbrush thing for beginners, and that was recommended on one of the groups about thinning certain kind of paints, and I was surprised that this guy that was doing all this airbrushing seemed to be from the land of India. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm like, I just assume that our hobby is basically pasty white dudes from England. Anyways, and I'm gonna try some of his stuff out, and if it works out, I'll let you know what it is. But it's weird for me to think of thinning airbrush paints, even though I thin this stuff all the time and don't even think about it. The problem is that the airbrushing is done in an area that it's difficult. You can't mix here. You can't mix the. Don't mix in the paint cup. Don't. There's all these don't do. It's almost kind of like you're trying to have a you're trying to have a food fight at a jeweler store. It's just like you can't do this. It's just kind of an environment that just isn't conducive to that. I was watching this video. I'm like, oh, the airbrush in India, cool. You know, sorry, assumptions. There's anything wrong with that. Well, I can also report Flames of War is a bit arse. You hadn't played it before? I don't play it. And the worst thing about the game, well, there's lots of worse things about the game. But one thing that really bugs me is it doesn't play like it's supposed to be one tank represents one tank. Well, why does a turret not turn? It's a little too vaguish for that. It seems like it should be operational scale, the way it plays. But I'm not a fan of a D6. D6 just doesn't give enough options. And we still got wet stuff back underneath there. Well, I did pile it on. You know what Flames of War is really good at? Their website. Their website's excellent. All the articles and ideas and stuff, that's excellent. Their products, and their game. Oh, you think this game's great? Oh, we're gonna redo it, and you have to buy new books. Like, no, that's like that's the bad kind of capitalism. A bit arse. You, sir, are a bit arse. That's something you guys stand up in Parliament? Because you guys have that Parliament over there where they say, people stand up and say something. It's like, you're a muttonhead, and then sits back down, and then does something else. No, I'm not, and then sits back down. I guess it's amusing to watch. Okay. The next stage is green ochre, which is the same dry brush color as this is. Which means in this next step, this thing's going to look like shit. Because then it's going to be all one big, like... Now, let's check. It's going to be too wet. It's going to be too wet. I can't do anything with that. I can't do anything with that. What I can do is I can put markings on this thing. On these two. So, let's go get our decals. No, I don't say things like that. I make fun of people that say things like that. Go put it in your decal. And let's see if we got some palm trees that I don't like so much. I'm gonna put one of those on there and see if I can doctor it up with a swastika. Swastika are one of our other sisters. You think there's some ethnic girl that was named Swastika? I bet there is. Let's see what we got here. Nope, no, these are good. No, we don't want to use those. Those I can use as is. Some of these older style, there's none here. Nope. We're gonna play everybody's favorite game, the Nope game. I see one here. Okay. This will work just good. Good. I'm sure these decals are fine, unlike those Petting House ones. The Petting House has them, but you have to assemble them together so that you can be the Nazi. From Swastika Land. Forgot they changed the name of Swaziland again. Did they? Swaziland's always been Swaziland, hasn't it? Swaziland and Lesotho, that's the two I get mixed up. We want our own country. Fine, we'll stick you in the middle of us so we can keep an eye on you. But. Like San Marino. We want our own country. All right, we'll put you here, but we're going to keep an eye on you. But. My daughter was asking about the other day. I said, what is Andorra? I said, exactly. I told her probably like Basques that want to be French. They're like, oh man. All right, I got two swastikas there. Catch you later. Enjoy decaling it up. Eswanti now? Fuck you, it's Swaziland. You guys keep changing names and it's still Burma to me. You're just being insensitive. Yep. Keep it up, I'll call it Formosa. Yeah, this should probably have. Good morning, go for it. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking one that I can use as a cutting board. Some of these things don't cut really well on a surface that gives. It needs to be a little bit more resilient. I think this one is one that, all right, we're going to reuse this one, but we want a fresh one fresh from China. These have actually turned out okay. I wanted to buy actual X-Acto brand X-Acto knife things, but you can't. You get knockoff ones, so you might as well pay knockoff prices if you're going to get knockoff ones. Okay, let's cut this palm tree close. In there. And we're probably going to have to paint the center a little bit and then go in there and paint the crooked spider. Because this one doesn't come with one, and it comes with a solid palm tree. And I'm sorry I didn't come up with our logos. I would have picked up something better than the swastika. Yeah, that should fit on there just fine. Okay. And it's an opportunity to see how that works. I got a lot of palm trees that just have a tree. No crooked spider in the middle of it. Just like I've got a lot of like white German crosses. That's what we'll do for these. We'll decal this one with white German crosses that I don't have a use for, and I never will. If I ever decide to do German vehicles in Poland, I'm gonna decal them just like they were in France. I don't want to, this isn't the Swiss Army where they have white crosses. It just looks ridiculous. White cross almost looks like the red cross. Jawohl, we're here to help. Yeah, sure you are, asshole. Never accept flowers from a communist or first aid from a Nazi. Okay, while I'm thinking about that, I'm going to go ahead and cut the white crosses off. And then we can paint the centers black. Put one on the back. And let's decal this thing up. It's an opportunity to get better at something else. No, that's the legitimate one. Ooh, and petting house ones too. Yeah, let's do that. I hate petting house decals. All right, let's cut out 4. We got to do something. Actually, let me go ahead and cut this. This is all opportunity to have this stuff dry. And maybe just before I go to work, I'll actually be able to do this. Let's cut these tight. Man, the backing paper color is almost the same color. I can't remember if you were on here yesterday or not, Marcus. Well, I know if you heard, I found out that Portland stone was not used as a one color scheme. So if the vehicle was not going to have, so like this one that's painted wrong now, I'm going to leave it as is because it's the one exception to the rule. It's my one Panther A that doesn't have Zimmerit. It's too late. But apparently, if it was going to be in a singular color, Portland stone wasn't used. That's according to an expert on that. Desert War. missing one? Here's one. Here's the other two. Fuck it, we'll put 3. I'm not here to look for stuff. I don't really care. It doesn't have to have one on the front. It obviously didn't do any good. It got shot up anyways. Is that it over here? Asshole. So what's the single color? Lightstone. Which is yellower. Pizza Beta, welcome. Badler, sorry. Hello from Sweden. DBA question. Good 172nd represents Seleucid Army. Well, I don't play DBA, but I will answer DBA questions because, you know, that's not a DBA question. That's a modeling question. I suspect you want to use soft plastic. There's a lot of companies now. So are you familiar with Plastic Soldier Review? Plastic Soldier Review. And I can only comment on what their pictures look like. Their website, let's make sure I've got this on desktop site. Is it on desktop site? Okay. Their site looks kind of like this. It's green. And up here in the left-hand corner, you can check by periods. So if you click on periods and go to, let's see, you want to do Seleucids. So you got prehistory, ancient Rome, Republic of Rome, imperial, late antiquity. Let's look at late antiquity and see if it's there. Cataphracts, Sassanids. No. Okay. So let's go earlier one. Let's go to ancient history. Ancient world, sorry. And we're looking for Seleucids. Successor states, Epirus. So as you look at successor states, Seleucid infantry set, phalanx set 1. These guys look stellar. It tells you literally what comes in every package. Now, I can't vouch for them because, you know, I've never bought these. And I can tell you about soft plastic figures. I was not a fan of them. But their biggest problem is cutting the flash off of them because you can't scrape it. You have to literally slice it off like you're making the gold flakes for Goldschlager. You know, you got to like slice it really thin. But the detail on plastic figures is incredible. So let's zoom in on some of these guys. Other than the flash, this guy's better than just about any white metal figure you can go to find out there. Now, I can't vouch for this company. I don't really know anything about them. But this is where you want to, if you want to go to soft plastic figures, this is where you go. I mean, they even have Ptolemaic stuff. Slightly different. You know, and it tells you how many of each pose you get in each one. Now, some of the stuff doesn't have reviews of them. Like they have Seleucid elephants and Ptolemaic elephants, and there's a little red X, which means nobody's done a review on it. But I've just started painting plastic figures in 1/72nd scale in the last 2 months, and I am thoroughly impressed. I don't know how durable they're going to be, but with DBA, you know, just slap somebody if somebody moves your guys around. Just like I'll move my own folks around. Epirus, India, you know, obviously you can mix in all the Macedonian stuff as well. Mix in Zvezda. Zvezda stuff is great. I mean, these are some great freaking figures. You know, so yeah, I mean, they're less expensive. The flash is the problem. The flash is really the problem. It's painstaking. You know, Coats and Shine Macedonian elephant. What the hell does that look like? Oh, this guy's cute. And if you don't think elephants are cute, look, it even comes with some road apples. Now that's thoughtful. Comes with an Indian looking mahout. Good stuff. Svezda war elephants. What do they look like? Oh yeah, baby. Look at that. Everybody likes war elephants. Yeah, Flash is hard. Yeah. Yeah. Some companies do better than others. Some have weird poses. The old Eschi figures had weird poses, like almost like some of those odd poses that Essex figures have in 115 millimeter. They're like, here's a spear, and I don't want to have anything to do with it. Like your guy riding a horse, like holding the spear away from it, like it's covered in dog dew. You know, like I don't want to smell this thing anymore. Just weird poses, like I want to be to dance. Like, dude, you're in a battle, man. And it's okay to have one guy in a weird pose or a couple of them, but you know, if you have like one pose in the figure and they're all in some awkward pose that you would never find yourself in. You know, I think of it like if you're going to make figures for like a DBA army, it's like if somebody went in and took pictures of them, like took a mass of pictures and just took a percentage of the guys are in different poses, and that's what you get on the stand. And if half of the guys in your army are out fruiting around, being all artsy, like you're not going to win very many battles that way. It's just awkward. You have to explain things. You just got Italeri, Fallschirmjäger, and Tropical Uniform. Oh, are they fruity? Let's see. We got to look at those guys. Now, it depends on Italeri and a couple of other companies. They have made their own figures, and they have also I was going to say confiscated. No, they've taken over the molds for some of the Eschi figures, and it's the Eschi figures that are the issue. And some of the Eschi figures, not the Italeri figures, because those motorcycle troops I have are stellar. Those Italeri motorcycle troops are excellent. If they just made motorcycle troops for everybody, not just, you know, the sand Nazis. Let's look at these Fallschirmjägers. Marcus probably has those guys. The only Fallschirmjägers I have are the Airfix Fallschirmjägers. Most of them are actually okay. Fallschirmjägers just don't turn me on. Germany others. Oh, gotta be careful. Got crooked spiders on here. Can you guys do the crooked spider in Sweden, or is that bad form? And I don't mean, you know, like displayed on your house. I mean, you know, on your models, and people not have a mook. Actually, Facebook's the problem in places like that. Like, it's the auto. I don't put any pictures of that stuff on there because, you know, you end up getting banned. Okay, Tropical Uniform. Let's check these guys out. Oh, these guys look awesome. Yeah, this is the... Holy shit, these guys look good. Yeah, this is the new Italeri. These guys are fantabulous. Oh, this is the same pose from one of the Africa Corps sets. That guy in the middle with the MG34. Wow, these are great. These some Monte Cassino looking motherfuckers, isn't it? Wow, good luck with that. Look at the scope on that Mauser. That is really well. I do great set. Yeah, no kidding, man. These guys are beautiful. Oh, so Nazis can be beautiful? Well, sometimes. They're not being a Nazi right now. They're not doing Nazi stuff. Strange FG gun, though, okay? Let's see. I may not be able to see it from this picture. Looks a little light, doesn't it? Yeah. Almost looks like one of those shotguns. I always love these poses where the guy's in the binoculars waving his hand after he fires the gun. Hey, we're over here! We're over here! We're the assholes that shot you! Oh, man. tool. 1.4 meter long. No clip. You mean magazine. No magazine. You made the mistake. I'm sure I probably said it. I try not to make that. I choose to make different mistakes. My least favorite mistake is when people decide to call horses. They name horses after that hill, after the 3 Cross Jesus Hill. No, this isn't Calvary. We're not calling in the Calvary. That's just 3 crosses and it sits there. You know, that's not going to help us out. So we're going to take these useless Polish crosses, German Polish crosses, and we're going to paint the center black. And that way we have a use for these decals. Because I can hand paint the crosses if I need to. But what am I going to use these decals for if I don't do this? I'm not going to build any German vehicles that have white crosses on them. Okay. That's these. Now, before we do all that, I need to think about the order so I can be efficient about it. We're going to need to, because the black lining's last. As much I am dying to do it, I'm just like, put me in, coach. Let's see. We probably need to do the tires now. No. We need to bring the vehicle up using sand and a little bit of pale sand. Even if I have to go back and do those other colors on the base. All right, so I'm going to take these decals and we're going to move them off to the side. All right. We're going to do Mr. Humber afterwards. Now Humber, I'm probably going to have to hand paint its numbers and stuff, but that's okay. That's going to be an 11th Hussars vehicle. And Marcus, just so you know, Marcus, I know you're listening, the fucking effect you've had on me, and I mean that in a good way. Now, you just sped up the Desert War, which is good because I'm enjoying the living hell out of this. And hopefully I'm motivating people for it too. Like, the Desert War is freaking interesting. I mean, I always thought that. Unfortunately, when I go back to Russia, it's probably going to be winter. It's probably going to, I don't mean winter, I mean, I'm probably going to do winter vehicles. So, and I've never done winter vehicles, but I ain't scared. I got some stuff coming in the mail too, so we got a lot of unboxings coming up. And I'm not going to spoil any of it. Let's get some of these more finer brushes here. Happy to see that. Yeah, no, the Rex are, this is super useful. These are really, really useful. And, you know, maybe I'll be motivated to, those vehicles that I have that are trashed, I said I wasn't going to, maybe it'll motivate me to build them as Rex. You know, because it is something like you put it there, like infantry can like scour behind it. You know, you could, their objectives, you know, it's terrain, you know, and it's something that a lot of people don't do or are scared to do. Like I said, just do them and figure it out later. Okay, what we're going to do? Oh, paint the wheels. Right. We'll call it a draw. We're going to actually, before we do the wheels, let's go ahead and do, get one of these that's relatively soft. And we need to use dark sand. Dark sand is the next level up. Nope, that's Iraqi sand. That's its kissing cousin. This is buff, isn't it? Yep, the other cousin. Dark sand. AK Interactive does a non-hardening white for winter vehicles. I'll have to check it out. I've seen the. I don't know if that I'm going to use clump snow on the vehicles, but I've done the two T34s, and it turned out like really easy and really well. This one in particular. And this is a ship model. Let me show you a picture of it. The thing doesn't, the video doesn't do it justice. Actually, this doesn't do it justice either, but let's see if I can tone this down, because these white colors just, they kick back too much. It's here, and all I do is just do auto correction. That makes it look a little bit more like what I'm seeing. And this is just an old Skytrax model. This is my first attempt at doing some kind of winter camouflage. And it turned out pretty much how I wanted it to turn out. That's the important thing, is that it turns out how you want it to turn out. Not like, hey, I want to do A, and you paint it and you get Q. And then the other one, I don't like this camouflage scheme, but it's just an ugly camouflage scheme in my opinion. But for the basing, I'm going to do my winter basing the same way I do my desert basing. Hold that thought. With regards to foliage. So my desert basing does have tufts on it, but very little. And that's where the snow is going to be. So they're not going to be all snow covered, you know, and the guy's like, I only know that sound because I went to Canada last year, so I actually know what walking on snow is like. But in other words, the whole stand isn't going to be white. It's going to be, 50% white or so. So, non-curing for winter foliage camouflage fading. Yeah, that's the MIG ammo washable white stuff, which you don't have to wash it if you don't want to, but it gives you the option to it. All right. Is this dry enough? I think because this is a color that needs to go. Let's just do it in 2 steps. We're going to do the vehicle where it needs to be, and then we can do the basing to match the vehicle. That's how I do it anyways. It just happens to be this is the same colors. Yeah, it's easy, especially when there's lots of people that are willing to share how they do things. I mean, there's some people, I guess, that are elusive. Oh, I don't want to tell you what my secret thing is because that way I'll seem like a demigod. I'm like, okay, yeah, go get a life, dude, I share all the stuff that I do. And this is just a gray vehicle that I, layered up. Because we don't want to cover this completely. We want to still show that this was a different color, and then when it drove across this environment, it blended into it. Using gouache paint. Does that make you a gaucho? I'm not sure I know what that is. I mean, I know what it is. I've just never used it. One of my daughter's friends used that quite a bit. I haven't messed with it. As long as you can clean it up with water, I'm willing to try it. I'm too old to be doing enamels and stuff. Not too old. I don't want to put up with that shit. You know, I lived through enamels. I don't want to live through that again. All right, let's compare. And we still have pale sand to go, so leave yourself some room for pale sand. And of course, you're not going to know what this thing really looks like until you do the black lining. Some people are like, okay, that's good enough. No, it's not. Nope. Yeah, that's good enough. But then I see people that are, I mean, even the stuff that I do now, I saw one of my painting heroes posted something recently, and I'm like, fuck this. I was at a 10 and I turned it up to 12. Now I got to go to 18. But that's good. That's motivating. That's like, I can do better, you know? And it's just a matter of different steps, not just be like, done. Like, no, just, like, I think this ground cover has like 4 different colors in it. And if it had more, it'd be even more brilliant. All right, now let's get the pale sand out here, which I bought a new one of. I went to the game store where everything goes. They actually moved. They got run off of the other place, I guess. Gosh, I'll have to look into that. Uh-oh. There's this old paint. Get it almost all out. Now, I don't know how long this wreck's been here. I don't want to have to make that determination, that decision of how long the wreck has been here, but maybe it sank into the sand, maybe it happened yesterday. I'd like to think it hasn't been there a while. Because then you can use it for, you know, getting documents and stuff off of it. There's some valuable reconnaissance on that thing. And if this turns out well, I've got those extra armored car husks, right, Marcus? I got those extra 260. I mean, a 263 is perfect for this. And we're going to do CD Rosé. We need some wrecks. And I might as well practice on the wrecks I already have. Okay. Okay, so the next step is green ochre is the next one. I don't want green ochre on the wheels, so let's go ahead and do green ochre now before we paint the wheels. I mean, if I get green ochre on the wheels, I have to repaint the wheels, so. Where's... Let's see. And what we're looking at is we're choosing from, like, which one of these things? Let's see how I do here. This would be a new game show. See if I can find green ochre right off the bat. I'd say it's this one. Blammo! Can I quit my day job now? absolutely. Happy with a 263 wreck outpost. Like you say, need some terrain to break things up. Yeah, just to make it interesting. Just like if you ever play, I don't know if you play video games or not, but one of the cool thing about playing video games that are open world is you'll be walking around with whatever character you're playing, and you'll be like, I wonder what that is over there. That looks like a hut, or is it a hill, or so go check it out. So that's what this is. Go check it out. You know, it could be booty trapped. Look out! It's a booby trap. There might be a harem in there. I don't know. Silly tip: use a Posca marker to write names. That ruins the whole experience of it looking like modern art. You're taking my fun away. Posca marker. I don't even know what that is. Some people are like, oh, well, if you write the names of vehicles, you can use a white marker. I'm like, dude, I can write better with a paintbrush than I can with a pen. So should this be number 4? So all these German cars, armored cars, seem to not have numbers. The trend is that they don't have numbers, like this is number 364 or whatever, at least at this time period. But they tend to have German girlfriend names, assuming you have a German girlfriend. For the German vehicles anyways. The 11th Hussars did not name their vehicles. So we were going to have to, when they come up, they're going to have to go by serial number. We want to try to be realistic. So these German nicknames are going to be for German names. So this wreck is going to have the name of it on here. It's going to have some, Mimi. I'm saving Mimi for a KFZ13 or a 221. Mimi is going to be that's the name of one of those. I need to get a 230 or a 223, a 223 or a 221, preferably a 221. Something really weak. Helga or something. Helga just sounds so feminine. An acrylic marker sticks to anything. Huh. Well, I hope we can go get my toolbox today. I've been wanting a toolbox for a year. That's for my stuff in the garage and stuff. Like I said, the day that I couldn't find the tire, it was fine because I organized stuff in here because I don't like chaos. It makes me like, I'm not ADD or anything, but it just creates, just having this first layer on here makes such a nice difference. And this is actually, this color here was the color this was before. Gertrude or something like that. Technically, this one doesn't need a name because its action isn't going to come up in the game. All right, let's go ahead and use light sand on this. No, we got to use sand. Sand is the next color. Let's rinse this. That way we can get the pure color. One of the mistakes you can make by dry brushing is making, well, not really a mistake, but a time waste, is if you make the layers too close to each other, they're not going to be able to stand out. And it'll look too smooth of a transition. And maybe it's what you want, but it's not what I want, so. And the other vehicle is going to have the same treatment. The only thing that's different is it's a different color. Yeah, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to really enjoy making the wrecks more than anything else, aren't I? That's okay. They make great objectives. Maybe the guys walk up to this and there's actually somebody in there and the gun's active. Got lots of options. Just finish assembling your PSC universal carrier for the desert. We'll go with just light stone for this one. Yeah, I figured I'd share that with you. You know, I don't want to repaint stuff that I've already done. You know, first of all, I haven't done that much stuff, and that's just one person's opinion. But oh man, the rock fell off. No, that might be a place for a good tuft. And even though I'm going to go over the tires with this, it's just easier to do it separate. I'm glad to know that this was dry enough to do this, because I'm chomping at the bit to get this thing done. Okay. Yeah. That's annoying as shit, having that bright ass spot there. That's better. We come in and we drop something on top of that. At least it's covered. Now we'll do the tires. Actually, before we do the tires, anywhere that potentially I'm going to put a decal, let's just go ahead and, it doesn't hurt anything. You can come back and when you clear coat it, you can't even tell that I did this. But this is the biggest, for decals, this is the most useful thing, is have some kind of smooth, glossy surface for that to adhere to. Everything else is, maybe even one there. We'll go crazy and put one there, maybe. Let's not think about that right now. Super thin, doesn't have to be super thick or anything. Okay, we'll let that dry a little bit. Okay, now we'll paint the tires. How are we doing on time? Damn salt mines. Bloody salt mines. Got a government job, I just pretend to be sick. I would only do that if I don't plan on going back to work, ever. Do not want to clean up that mess. All right, this brush has seen better days. That's why we don't buy expensive brushes, because no matter what you do to them, there we go. And a little bit of water. This should have some water left here. Where is it? Here it is over here. This is not going to cut it. We need a better brush than that. I overestimated how. We need better than that. Now I got a message from somebody that wanted me to let them know when I was painting counter. I probably should make a video on it, but they're a pain in the ass to make those kind of videos. And then no matter how good of a job, there's always somebody that says, you should really use this other thing. And I'm sorry, but when you contribute nothing other than creating I know better than you comments, it makes me say, fuck you. You make your own video, Like, I don't do that on other people's pages. Look, oh, you really should have done this better. So I'm pretty intolerant when it comes to stuff like that because, if you have so many good ideas, go do it. I don't try to convert people into doing what I'm doing. If you want to do 1/72nd scale DBA, do 1/72nd DBA. I don't have anything out. You really should do 15 millimeter. People, you should do whatever you want, man. That's the beauty of freedom. So, when it comes to the hobby, I don't tolerate any kind of negativity or that kind of shit. My new go-to before buying stuff. Well, speaking of which, if I'm going to pass out free information, do you know about this? Use this to clean your brushes. Hand sanitizer. It takes all the acrylic paint completely off. It won't bring your brushes back. Like if you get a brush that's already like turning a corner, you can't do that. But this will get all the paint out. And it cleans your hands in the process. I don't know how the other brands are, but the Purell, at least the Purell here in the States, where they put all kinds of poison in it and stuff. It works really well. Maybe the Purell in Sweden doesn't work as well. I don't know. But it's like I did one of those videos. A guy comes in here, well, rubbing alcohol works just as well. So I decided to take him up on it on a live session. No, it doesn't. It doesn't work with a shit. Hey, I'm just trying to pass on stuff that might help you out. If you don't want to do it, that's cool. There's lots of people's recommendations I don't take. Lots of people have bad ideas. Like you go on those airbrush things, you got to use lacquers. I'm never going to use a lacquer. I'm not using it. I'm not using enamels. I'm not using stuff that smells bad. That's the whole reason I got an airbrush, to get away from those rattle cans and nonsense like that. Yeah, you probably have some laying around. I just decided to try it on a whim because we had extra because of the whole COVID debacle, and I buy one get one free, and it was life changing. It really was. And it gets all the paint off your hands, especially if it's like the Vallejo primer or something that's a pain to get off. Because it's polyurethane, that takes it right off. Doesn't work with enamels. But use it to clean resin prints. Oh. A printer. I got somebody who does that for me. I can't do I can't do everything. I'm afraid that if I got into printing, I'd probably quit the hobby. Or quit my job, really. It'd make me so frustrating with my hobby that I'd quit my job. And we can't do that just yet. But as soon as we don't have to, we're not going to work. I'm not going to be one of those people, I got to have a job to stay busy. Not this clown. I'll make free videos for you guys. You know, if I don't need to work for the money, then and I need entertainment. I don't need entertainment. We got plenty of stuff to do. All right. I'm still not 100% on painting the barrel this black, but I don't really have much of a choice at this point. I'm not sold on it. See, this is the magazine, or what it looks like, and then all this is black. Made me own 5,000 Panther G's. Wow. Well, you got more than they really had. Panther G's, probably what? Not more than 3. The whole production was just over 5. So most of them are, I'd say probably most of the G's were probably built as A's, if I had to guess. All the A's are basically all should have Zimmerit on them, which I am not a fan of how Zimmerit looks. But I just realized, as long as it takes me to paint things, I'm better off just buying everything, and it's basically free. And what I mean by that is the amount of effort I put into painting them, and I paint so slow, it doesn't really matter how much they cost, because I'm not going to paint that fast. And having, like, if I had like 1,000 tanks laying around, I probably wouldn't paint any of them. I wouldn't know where to start, and I'd just like, let's go on to something else. Let's look at Sherman's. That's just my nature to do that. We're getting there. This drying time is not, I'm not used to the drying time. Oh yeah, I got time. Be right back. Let me go put some fresh water in here for the decals. People have different ways of looking at things. I couldn't tell you how many people are saying, well, why do you have so many vehicles if your game requires so many few vehicles? Maybe I like painting vehicles. Why do modelers build models when they know they're not going to use them in a battle? I mean, I got this whole, you can't even say, I got this whole shelf. I got like 200 vehicles in here. I think I've used 2 in a battle so far. It's therapy. Some people corks from all the wine that they drink on a daily basis. This is my therapy. This is my therapy. So, all right. Let's get these little decal-y things going. Let's put these crooked spiders in first because they're going to have to dry. We're not going to be able to finish them up. Or the crosses. This is going to actually look like shit when I'm done because we're going to have palm trees with no swastikas on them. And we're going to have white crosses with no black on them. So we'll have to come back and do those two things. But this is I have a lot of palm trees with no swastikas on them. And you know, this is an opportunity to paint some of those up. Yeah, I didn't have to do stuff like this when I was doing the 15 millimeter. I could just keep creating. I didn't have to really worry about drying. And I could paint these by hand, but you have to sub some of the stuff out. You have to delegate some of the responsibilities. I'm going to put the palm trees first because those are the most finicky about where they go. Space restrictive. It's actually a nice palm tree. Oh. Stupid me. I don't know if it makes a huge difference. But let's follow the process. Microset. Ah, the delicious smell of white vinegar. We're going to attempt to put it here. And here. And it's too big. The only reason I wouldn't put it there if it's too big. That's why I cut it down to size. Yep, it fits. And then obviously we'll weather over it. And press down on it, make sure she doesn't move. Some of these older decals actually work really well. As long as they're not too old. Whoops. Damn it, now it fell off. I gotta remember it's upside down. Well, I don't know which way it is now. Okay, it looks like that. Okay. Which means this one is over here. There we go. I find this so unfrustrating. It's almost relaxing moving these decals around where they go. And we'll have to come in here and paint the center of it out. Actually, I should just be able to, just paint a little swastika over the center of it. Over that little one. It should be easy to do. Create a little X and put little legs on the X. All right, man, you have a good one. Okay, now the crosses should be ready to go. We're going to put them back here in the quarter panels. Remember, they're going to be white. They're going to look like there's something wrong with them, but we're going to come back and paint the centers black. It's a way to use these crosses I don't have a use for. We're not going to Poland. Australian Greg. Welcome back. Just making a wreck of one of these Nazi bastards that's out polluting the desert with their exhaust. This is the old Airfix 222 model. Actually, I think this one was an Airfix. As I say, the MPC stuff was what was big in the 1980s here in the United States. It was just rebranded Airfix stuff. But this one I actually bought in the 90s. I just never did anything with it. Built it. The wheels fell off of it. Lost one wheel, although I could find it. But the detail on it is softer than the Dragon one. So this is like an opportunity for a wreck, which is a scenario idea. Go to the wreck and go find the papers. The papers they've been collecting from everybody. Go there and find them. Do not come back to me until you have the papers. Now, unfortunately, these are petting house decals. So, they're always thick. So if I don't like them, I'll rip them off and paint them on myself. Actually, the only decals I've had a problem with have been these. And these guys are prolific. You see petting house stuff everywhere. And honestly, they're pretty arse. Did I use that correctly, Ben? But I'm afraid this is going to be my favorite thing I've built. I don't know why. This might actually be something you could put a crooked spider over the top of the back or something like that. Not permanently, because, you know, I can show that to my friends, but not put it on Facebook. Or the auto tune blockers will. I'll run into issues. I'll have my content blocked. Look, if you're going to shoot at something, you might as well put a swastika on it. It makes me want to shoot it more, no? I mean, isn't that how it works? That's how it should work. Like, I don't know why we got to be so peaceful. Well, because they're Nazis. Oh, they're Nazis. Let's kill every one of them. Okay. Okay. So now we got the decals done on that. In record time. Now, which is the first one that I did? Let's get our super brush out here. And no, we're not going to clear coat them or anything. We're going to paint right on. Might be a little vestige of paint left on there. Let's get that little bit out so that the bristles set flat against each other. There we go. Neutralize it with some water. Let's get the Viejo white out here. I've given up on using the Flow Aid. It breaks down the pigment too much. I don't know that it works any better than the water. I think it was like smoking my own stuff. No, it just gets to a point where it's like, okay, I was trying to find a use for it, really. I don't know that it works any better. Put a little bit of water over here. We're gonna need this, and let's proceed to paint some Nazi paraphernalia on these. Let's get, where's my little cutting board? This is perfect. Nope. How far up the, about halfway, okay. I don't know if this is fine enough. I'm not sure why. This is the finest one I have. Or is it this one? This one's been through a lot. This has painted so many faces. Let's try this. Whichever one it is, it's a liner. There we go. That one goes towards the top. Make sure it's spinning the right way. Not really happy with that one. That's better. It's because I didn't start with a small brush the whole way. Let's see if I can get away with doing this. I love making mistakes. It's an opportunity to be good at fixing them. Yep, this is working. And I'd rather do it on this one than on a real model. I think that'll work good enough for now. Now, got enough time to do the block? I think I do. I'm gonna use this same brush. I said these are things I really don't have much of a use for. Palm trees without swastikas on them. So it's an opportunity to use something that I was gonna not use anyways. Let's get the center in the right place. Let's move this off before it falls on the ground. Thing with this stuff is always pull towards you. If you're doing it the other direction, it's very hard to control, at least for me. Yeah, if I can just make the ends of that decal disappear, we'll see what we can do with it. Yes, I'm playing the stomach trumpet. Why are you upset with me? It's the same thing I've had for breakfast for years. Screw you, drown it with more coffee. That wouldn't happen if I'd have Vegemite, right? They don't have that for breakfast, do they? I don't think I've tried it. I'm not opposed to. As long as it's not a weird meat, I'm good, and there's no meat in that. Yeah, I heard you. So we're going to do that when we come back. We're going to clean up those swastikas with the other color. And that'll make all the difference in the world. And we haven't done the black lining on here yet. So There's something to be said by spending some time on something like this because this is always going to be on the board. It's not like it's going to drive away. I mean, if it shows up at the beginning of the battle, it's going to be there the entire battle. So you can enjoy what it looks like the whole game. It's not like, it was here today and drove off the board. And this thing will not be driving anywhere. But I am not a fan of these decals. They're thick. They're on backing paper that's almost the same color, so I can't cut them close. They're all one sheet. They don't really have anything going for them. And you think, oh, they're German decals. They'll have precision. No, they won't. Not these things. They're a piece of crap. Now I do have some by a company called TL Modelblau, and those are German, and those are okay. But the best decals ever that I have put on have been by the microscale ones. The microscale will just blow everybody away. Okay. Well, that's where we're going to leave it off for this morning. So the next step that we'll do is clean those decals up and then dry brush the wheels and stuff like that so it looks like it's in there. So we're getting there. And then we got to do the muffler and stuff back here and the black lining. But should look like a pretty good objective, and then we'll do the Humber next. And of course, we've got to put a tuft or two there. So, okay, folks, thanks for stopping by. Well, guys, we'll see you on the next one.